Welcome to the Late Night with Chalky podcast.
Friends and family, brothers and sisters, welcome to the Late Night with Chalky podcast.
Our guest this week, a Floridian surfer that got his first industry job at a local shop, Sunrise Surf Shop in Jacksonville. Shout out to Sunrise.
Right on.
11 years?
15.
15.
Yeah, thank you guys for having me.
15 years in retail. He went on to run marketing and events for Volcom. He was also in a reggae band for 5 years. You guys tour?
Yeah,
travel?
we toured. Best show we had was we opened up for Steel Pulse 3 nights. So we did like a little tour with them. And then we opened up for UB40.
That's huge. Those are incredible bands.
They did have red wine in the green room.
Yep. And he's been at the helm.
M&M's.
He's been at the helm as executive director for the Florida Board Riders and the Jacksonville Board Riders Club, brightening the future of surfing and local beach communities in the Sunshine State. He's currently the go-to-market marketing manager at Billabong, and we're pumped to hear his story and everything about surf and board riders in Florida. We welcome to the show Dane, Reggae Jefferys. Woo!
Yeah, right.
Thanks, bro.
It's a lot. Dane Jaw's a little better than my first nickname. My first nickname when I was a little grom was CJ Hobgood and Damien would do their Rusty Grom tour. And they came one time and they had these Dunkin' Donuts on the beach. And there was this girl standing in front of me in line and I smacked her. I threw a donut at her and hit her in the face. They're like, dude, what's your name? I'm like, Dane. They're like, doo-doo stain Dane.
Doo-doo
and
stain.
that stuck throughout high school. So I'm glad that.
Doo-doo stained Dane.
Yeah, doo-doo stain Dane. I'm glad that went away. So,
Hey, those guys are the Hobgood Bros are so fucking funny.
Yeah.
They're witty too. They sound like they're these
Southern
stoner
doll.
like just hillbilly.
Yeah.
But they're bright and they're funny.
Yeah.
They play along with the little slangy.
Yeah, and absolute heroes of mine and basically everybody else in Florida. I mean, you see what they've done with their life and their career and world champ and Damien with the contest they've won on the biggest stage. You're just like, wow.
Chargers.
We're going to get into it, but isn't it incredible that Florida, one of the smallest wave places, consistently small waves,
produces
flat pretty much throughout the year, produces the gnarliest fucking surfers that come out of.
Yeah, it's
the froth level is like
it's the hunger. It's like you guys like got all these good waves all the time, and it's like we're just like frothing to get out there and do it.
I kind of have that. I don't have the Florida froth, but I got pretty close.
Yeah,
I'll surf pretty much anything.
It was funny when I come out here for work and stuff, and back in the day, I surf like 2-3 times a day, and these guys are like, "Why are you surfing so much?" I'm like, "I just love surfing. And the waves are good here."
But if you're really good, we talked about this. If you're really good at like 13, you're already traveling the West Coast to compete in nationals, U.S. Open, like whatever, and you're already getting pretty much a big time sponsor. You're not in Florida 12 months of the year.
Yeah.
You're traveling quite a bit, and
but
those
still,
that do rise.
Especially this time of year, yeah.
But still, like the amount of Floridians that become world tour legends.
Their depth
compared to California.
Their depth's way gnarlier in
California.
California.
To anywhere else,
There has been a big gap, and I mean we'll get into it, but hopefully Board Riders Club is the saving grace, the
nurturing of the next generation.
Nurturing of the next generation, because I had to be maybe CJ or Damien or Karina. I don't know the last Fleur. Oh no, actually. Obviously Caroline Marks. But yeah, it's been never mind. Florida's still winning world title. So
I just watched her squeak through her heat today.
I was thinking Geiselman's. I was thinking of like all the Lopez new generation coming up in the next few years. It's gonna be nuts.
Well, let's take us back to where it all began for you, Dane.
Cool. Grew up in Neptune Beach. My parents were 5th grade teachers at the local elementary school. So they had all summer off, so we would travel and camp and surf and go to Cape Hatteras and stuff like that.
Both parents surfed, or
no, just my dad. And
what kind of surfing did he do? Longboard, shortboard?
Longboard, shortboard, yeah, basic. Yeah, he was. He would he was super into sports. He was like basketball, and I was in basketball, I was in football, I was in soccer.
Jock dad.
Yeah, and then surfing was like, he's like, hey, here's $20, go enter the contest, ride with JC's family or so and so's family. So I kind of was like, went off on that thing on my own and did the ESAs, Wave Masters. Mitch Kaufman runs this charity event every year for the last 42 years or something. And Wave Masters, I was like the big one back in the day, but did those surf contests, and then grew up surfing and going to the surf shop Sunrise. And when I was 15, I went in there and asked for a job, and they said I was too young, I had to be 16. So came back when I was 16 years old and got a job. I worked every Sunday on the floor. And then at 17, they had this program at school where you could leave at like 11 a.m. and go to work. So I'd work like Tuesdays and Thursdays and Sunday. So that was pretty cool. And then after high school, I went to college. I got a degree in elementary education.
Hold on a second. Let's go back real quick. What kind of board did you get first?
My first board, Dick Roseborough, a Roso. He was a shaper that moved to Hawaii back in the day. Had a spread in Surfer Magazine. Just a local shaper on the north side, north like jetty area shaper out of Jacksonville. It was a blue, black glass-ons with a flying bat sunset rat on it.
Nice.
So that was my first custom board, and then I wrote a bunch of water weapons.
What a great name, Water Weapons.
Yeah, they were actually pretty sick. The logo was like two W's like stacked on top of each other. And then I met a shaper, this guy, Steve Wolcott, for BPC surfboards out of St. Augustine, and rode those for a long time. Yeah.
And how'd you do in the amateurs?
I mean, I would like make finals, like ESA Easterns, like surfing against Eric Geiselman, David Aubrey, Chris Rapero, Eric Ram, like a lot of good guys. I think the best I ever did was fourth place Easterns.
Yeah.
And then NSSA, like maybe fourth. So wasn't the best. And the thing that got me really into surfing and kind of why I'm here now is these surf shop challenges. So working at the surf shop, we would be invited to, the first one ever was this Quicksilver Surf Shop Challenge, and it was down in Sebastian Inlet, and it was a team event. And like, I've never been good enough to win anything on my own, but with Asher Nolan on your team and Cody Thompson and the Thompson brothers, and you know, we won a lot of them. We had to go to some cool places. So
yeah,
those were so fun, and they were big.
Yeah.
Like,
I was just gonna say, we haven't heard of a surf shop challenge in a while.
Yeah, well, they had the same. Brillo was at the head of it all, ran all of them, and it was Quicksilver, and then Oakley took it over.
Yeah.
But the first year we came out here, and it was at Oceanside, and it was Jason Motes, me, Adam McGill, and Ryan Briggs, and they had the double whammy surfer, and it was the same tag team thing, and there was Brett Simpson was on a team. There was like a bunch of pretty gnarly guys in it. And we were
the first one you guys...
We were just this ragtag team that came out, and I'll never forget Todd Klein at the awards was like, first and second we're standing there, and he's like, break out the mud boggers and the big wheeled trucks. Florida's going home with the title. And
That's exactly what he said?
Yeah,
for sure.
I remember it was Oceanside, it was pumping, and Ryan Briggs gets this wave in the final. It's big right. Pulls in, gets barreled, like really barreled, comes out, does this huge, like, fins out, like grab rail on a big section, plants it, spins it around. Then the thing reforms, and he just goes to town on his backhand, like 5 snaps. I think he got a 9-9.
Wow.
Double whammied it. And then we went out and got like a bunch of 5s, and we won. So it was pretty sick.
Todd's from Florida originally, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So $10,000, that was pretty insane. $2,500 each.
And it was a Quicksilver one? Or?
Quicksilver.
Okay.
And I'll never forget, Jason Modes got the check, and he was so psyched. He stood on top of the car in the parking lot, was shaking the check, and snapped it in half.
The life-size check.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
How old were you then?
Probably 18, 19.
Nice.
Working at the shop, and like it was like me and Adam McGill were the 2 employees. But then after that, it was me and Garrett Carmichael were the employees, and we.
What was the parameters? You could have one pro, then
It was
one kid under 18.
No, it was two team riders and 2 employees.
Okay,
Yeah.
so
2 team riders and 2 employees.
Yeah.
which is perfect.
Yeah.
Like the caliber, and a lot of guys that work at the shop rip too.
Yeah.
So it was super cool, and then Oakley took over. We went to Chengdu. We competed at Karamas during the World Tour event.
I think whatchamacall told us about that, right? Ronnie Nelson.
Yeah.
He was running Oakley at the
Yeah,
time.
so Dave Spear was our coach, and he
Okay.
flew over there with us because he's the Oakley rep in Florida, and we had the best coach ever. And like the waves are pumping at Karamas, and I'm the last guy, and the 7th Street in New Jersey was the closest team to us. So I paddle over to the 7th Street guy, and I'm like, hey, you know the situation? What's the situation? What's the score you need? I paddle him up the point, I paddle him over here. I'm just on him like white on rice. I think I got like a 4 or something, but we were
You
kinda
kept him
far.
off from scoring?
Yeah, I kept him off from scoring, played a little defense, and I'll never forget, Adrian de Souza was the first heat of the Karamas event, and he's paddling out, and he knew Evan Thompson, and they grew up together surfing, and he knew Evan Thompson, so Evan gave him a hat or a shirt or something. He's like, Team Sunrise, you're my team! Go Team Sunrise! And I was like, fuck, this is sick. It was super fun. So
That is
Karamas,
cool. I wish I
Chengdu.
would have got to participate in those.
We ran it. They
You
ran
left
it
too
at
early?
Huntington.
I left too early,
Yeah,
yeah.
they ran it at the Huntington for like 5 years too, and then they did it down in Nicaragua. It was like
And lower.
At Mark and Dave's, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
You guys stayed at Mark and Dave's?
Yeah.
That's so awesome.
It was insane. It was like I had a choice like to become a school teacher when I was like 23 when I graduated, and I was like, dude, the surf shop, one, like people always want you to try their boards, give you wetsuits, board shorts, whatever, and then 2, you got the surf shop challenge every year you get to look forward to. So it's like I'm not going anywhere.
So
It's good perks.
take us back to
Grom Hood.
and working at the shop. Like,
Yeah, it was some crazy experiences. I had like all my mentors are the guys that were older than me that worked there. Like Tony Pratt was a killer musician, artist. He was always like on the beat. Like after work, we'd go over to his house and he'd teach me how to play drums or guitar. And I remember making my first sponsor me tape on 2 VHS tapes with the little recorder on it. Like you put one in and then you press record and you stop and then fast forward to your next wave. So I remember
Good
doing
old
that.
days.
I remember doing that and like putting a song to it, and he'd be like, "Oh, that's a good song. Maybe use this song and like use The Cure in this part." I'm like, "Oh, cool." So I made a little sponsor me tape with him, and then like guys.
Do you still
like,
have that?
It's got to be somewhere. it's pretty bad. I remember it was footage from the Bahamas, Abaco's Bahamas.
Still though, it'd
Yeah.
be so
and
epic to have.
who was your like brand that you wanted to get sponsored by?
Volcom. And the rep, Todd Causey, was... So you know how you're a kid in the shop and sometimes the reps are too busy for you and they walk right past you? He kind of did that to me a couple times. I was like, you know what, maybe not, I don't like Volcom. But then we ended up being friends and he was cool. But I was probably annoying because I was like, oh... He was like,
Give me stickers. You got any stickers?
He would show the line and be like, whoa, that's super cool. And he's like, man, I'm trying to like get through the line.
Yeah.
Like, go to the next shop.
Yeah, I got 400 miles to the next appointment. Just had 3. Like, fucking leave me alone.
I like that. What's that made out of?
Yes, no, but definitely.
You got any
Volcom,
stickers?
Because when I was at Grom, the VQSs were just starting out, and Sean Slater and Daniel Terry ran one at the polls, and I'll never forget. They had like one tent and a couch, and like a PA system, and like it was the coolest shit. Huge
Yeah.
prizes, like it was insane. Like one of the first ones, and then I flew over to California to compete in the nationals, and I was in Grom, so it had to be like 12 and under. And I was one heat away from the final. I was in the semis, and what's his name? Killian Garland,
yeah, he was-
smoked me, and I was like, "Fuck! If I would have made the finals, 4th place got $1,000."
Damn.
I was like, for Groms, like back
Good
in the
money.
day. Like,
And how old were you?
I was like 12 or
Fuck!
12, yeah.
So you started. You got good at surfing pretty early.
I wasn't good. I was average, and I kind of like just got by. I'm still average. Actually, I feel like I'm surfing the best I've surfed in a long time. So maybe I'm getting better.
Yeah.
Sponsor me tape. Here we come again. Round 2.
You guys know anybody in any of the brands?
So I worked at a shop for fucking a long time, and Laura worked at Huntington Surf
Yeah, in
and
high
Sport
school.
Yeah.
too. And it's just crazy how much more it meant to us than I think to some of these kids nowadays.
Oh, 100%. You see the
Right.
kids nowadays, and they're like, When am I gonna get off? Look at this TikTok. We didn't have phones.
Yeah.
All we had was, let's watch that DVD from Podium Distribution. Like let's put it on. And then you would have like the phone would ring and it would be Bill Johnson. He's like, hey Danny, you need some new steaks? How's the inventory? Then you pick it up next time and it's Amber from Jeff Dock, and like you're like, hey Amber, and like she would always get me. She'd be on the phone and be like, yeah, actually, we do need some boards. Like, she was really good at talking or something. I remember.
How funny you bring her up.
Yeah.
That's funny.
Well, you just remember these people that call and have, like, a relationship with you just through the phone. And
Yeah.
it's like...
Which is an amazing gift.
Yeah.
You know, like, not very many people these days would be able to do that. It's a text.
It's a grind.
Yeah.
I still remember phone numbers off the top of my head. Like, Surf Source was 904-247-0808, and Surf Hardware International, which was FCS, and Rainbow Fin Distribution was the fins, and like we get the wax. Like it was just like always, you had them in your head. You know?
And you were 16 when you finally
Started
got a
there.
job there.
Yep.
And you just worked the floor.
15 years, worked the floor, and then towards the end, I was like kind of a little bit of a manager and buyer for hard goods.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What about like managing a team or athlete? How many you guys?
Yeah, we had a team. So then that's kind of where I got into the marketing stuff. Is like I started running events and running our team and getting like editing videos for us and making like getting our website. It was like right when .com started. So like getting our website kicked off, and we ran an event called Battle of the Brands, and it was same kind of idea, but it was the rep how to surf. A marketing guy or a team rider could surf, and then either a team rider or a marketing guy were the other two, and then the fourth one was a grom off of our surf team, and you picked a hat and everything. We did it on Halloween weekend, so everybody would dress up, and we did a big thing of cash and did some donations.
How
to charity.
rad.
It was super cool.
Battle of the Brands.
Yeah.
Do you remember who won?
O'Neill won because they had Corey Lopez one year, and then can't remember who else won. Yeah, it was cool though. It was super fun.
And that's what you did as a shop, and it still happens. I mean, there's shops still run events and do Halloween dress ups and cool stuff, but like you said earlier, Lyndon, it was like it meant so much more. Like kind of a badge of honor getting a gig
job
at
at a cool shop.
At a shop. It was like you couldn't just fill out an application and expect. You had to get vetted. You had to be accepted.
They had to know who you were, and luckily they knew my parents because they were their teachers, I think. And I mean, I remember going in there and just being a kid and like getting that job, and then you start meeting all the reps, and then they become your friends forever. Like I see Lewis Ross, who does, you know, I don't know what he does now, like surf fins and hats and lycra and like these cheap sunglasses, but like he was the nicest, coolest guy. And then like you get all these reps that you've known forever, and then it's just so much easier to transition into like an industry job because you know those guys and you kind of have a little bit of an in.
Yeah.
So that obviously where Daniel Terry brought me on to just volunteer and work at these VQS contests. So we do.
Did you get sponsored by Volcom?
No, never got sponsored by.
What was your first sponsor?
One West. Casey Curtis saw me at a contest, and
Casey Curtis.
One West.
And it was this guy Joe. It was like out in Temecula. They had like a huge half pipe. You guys remember One West?
Vaguely.
Yeah.
I remember the name, but I didn't know what
The
they
logo
made.
was like an O with like a W underneath it, and it looked like a stone on the top of the board.
Okay.
So that was my first sponsor.
As a surfboard brand?
No, it's a clothing brand.
Okay.
And he would come out and he would do the whole walkthrough and stuff. And yeah, see, I was like always the average guy, so I was like on the average brand, you know. And then working in the shop for a while, I got sponsored by Reef when they were making clothing. And like somehow I had a contract for like photo incentive. Like I got a couple shots in ESM, made some money. I had a travel budget. I was like, pretty
Loving
crazy.
life right there.
I mean, this is like 2005, 6, like height of the industry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When a guy like my status could get sponsored. So
We miss those days. I mean, it was good for you know, like the industry to have those locals, those regional guys that kind of like.
I sold a shit ton of Reef clothing. I know that.
Yeah.
And sandals.
What's crazy is like going back to how much it meant to us, even the brands meant way more to the customers.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Like people wanted Volcom.
Yeah.
They wanted Ruka. They wanted, Quicksilver. It was like,
Now it's just too flooded. You can see what everybody's doing. They're trying to get your attention, and you're just like, I don't care.
I still feel like there's passionate
bit.
people about certain brands, but if you're going in for like a commodity item, like a seasonal item, like a flannel or whatever, I'm going to pick, not me, but they're going to pick the color palette that works for them or something, like there's very broad, board shorts.
And then that we were talking about it earlier with like your DVS shoes. Like shoes, people are going to pick the shoe they want, but like board shorts, the kid on the floor has some little bit of influence. A mom's like, hey, I have an 18-year-old son. He really wants these new modulator board shorts from Volcom are insane. Four-way stretch. And then like I saw the whole thing, and then working there was like, they would hook you up with stuff and you would sell it. Then they started doing these sales contests, and they were like, oh, we'll fly you to the pipe house if you sell it. And like sunglasses, Electric would fly us around places to do stuff.
Remember sunglass companies used to, reps come with cash at the end of the week or month or whatever and pay out like $5 a frame or whatever.
Yeah.
It was like you were working there, getting free stuff and getting extra little goodies and trips. It's like, why wouldn't I work at a surf shop?
He was the board buyer.
Oh, nice.
I'd get free boards from everybody.
Well, he would. I was sponsored, but like we were getting paid on boards, and then we were selling so many boards. They're like, they kept cutting it back, and then it was like, hey, we'll pay you to box these boards up and ship them. I'm like, what happened to like?
What happened to $5 a board?
Yeah, we had commission. It was $10 a board, $10 a new board, and $5 a used board.
Did you guys sell a lot of boards?
Sold a shit ton of boards.
That was one of the shops. Like
one
Forte.
of Marcio's first was, I think we were Marcio's biggest account when we sold the most discos. Remember that model disco that they had? We sold a shit ton of Sharp Eyes. What else did we sell? Obviously Merrick's, JS's, DHD's. Lost, yes, but not until like a little later.
Yeah, when I was there, it was between Merrick and Rusty.
Oh yeah. No, we sold a lot of Rusties too.
Yeah.
And Xanadu would slide in a little bit, and a couple
and
other.
When Surf Tech came too, and the Surf Tech East Coast warehouse was in our hometown, so those were super easy to get. And people were like, "These are bulletproof," and I'm like, "Sure, guy, I'll sell them to you." Whatever you want.
Yeah, I remember going.
I'll never have to buy a board again. You had those customers, and you're like, "Sure."
I remember going on a trip, and Matt Archibald, he had a pro model Santa
that's
Cruz.
right. Yeah.
He didn't have a fucking board bag. It comes down the fucking conveyor belt like thing at the end. It just has a sticker like the claim, baggage sticker on it.
I did that on the way to
I'm
New
like,
York one
what?
time. Yeah. So
That was 30 years ago.
Yeah.
boards, leashes, all that. I stocked. I remember at one of the surf shop challenges, I actually just saw Ronnie Blakely in Australia at that World Cup club challenge, and I told him the story. I said, man, the reason I wanted to really do these board riders clubs and fell in love with the whole team challenge thing is at one of the contests you were announcing, you said, there's Dane Jefferys. He's behind the counter. He's stacking the wax. Oh, here he goes. This is a killer wave. And he said really nice things about me. And I'm like, whoa, dude. That was probably the best wave I've ever gotten on film. I think I got a 7 or something on my backhand. I'm like, wow, that was killer. And I still remember exactly what he said. I remember he saying, that's Dane Jefferys. He's the one behind the counter stacking the wax. It was at Canggu.
Oh my gosh.
That's pretty cool.
That is really cool.
Yeah, and it stuck with me, and I had to tell him that story. He's like, "Oh man, thanks," and it was a cool little moment.
Yeah, that's awesome.
So it was selling boards, and I would work 10-hour days and work 4 days a week and have 3 days off. So it was old school. We didn't have lunch breaks. We'd eat our lunch while helping a customer.
Yeah.
At the end of the night, you had to Z out the register, and if it was off, you had to sit there and wait and try to figure out why you're off $3.
For sure.
It wasn't a real point of sale system.
No,
you didn't have a computer.
I tell everybody
duplicates, right?
Yeah, we had triplicates.
2-part carbon, and then we'd sell the board, and then you click the staple, and you hand them the thing. Here's your copy, here's my copy.
Yeah.
I used to dread but love the holidays because that's where you'd pick up all the extra hours. But then you would have this line, and we had to write down every style, everything, and then you had to get the calculator, tabulate. Yeah. It was such a slow process. I could only feel what a bartender has to deal with. There's a line of people, and you're just trying to go so quick, and it was stressful.
Yeah, shout out Dan Brooks, as the owner of Sunrise, and Carrie. Peterson. I was a buyer and manager, but they gave me that job. But dude, they had it like down. They had 2 registers. They had the front little entrance, and then at some points in like holidays, they would have another little register, cash only over here. And like it was
the Xerox copy
Credit
cards.
Yeah.
You had to call it in.
Yeah.
And then he was super Mr. Tight, make it nice. He's like 4 sides to every store, so that like meant like don't get stuck in the boardroom because you're making commission. Go like help everybody around the store, and then I would always sweep the parking lot every morning. I try to beat him there to sweep the parking lot, get all the cigarette butts, and like vacuum every night, take the trash out. I mean, it was
Prideful.
I wouldn't want
Yeah.
my upbringing and my job to be anything different. Like if I worked in a restaurant as a busboy or something, I would have probably.
Well, I tell.
That's a good job too, but
Yeah.
working at a shop.
I did work in a restaurant as a busboy actually too.
Well, that's great. That's great to form a young,
work ethic.
But like the shop, it was like hanging with all your bros.
Yeah.
Like all like-minded people, all people that were like
You
really.
look forward to going to work.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like it was not I got to go hang out with these people or
it
go
wasn't
do
a
this.
dreadful thing to go to. It was like, oh, I'm psyched.
Yeah.
It was
I'm
work.
gonna watch some videos and fucking hang out with my friends.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah. The only part that sucked is Hurricane Bill came and it was fucking firing, and I had to work that day. And I got there at 9:04, and the boss was already there, and there's this guy Paco that was Fred Durst's Limp Bizkit's from Jacksonville. So Fred Durst, the backwards red hat, he was his bodyguard, and he like off and on worked at the shop, and he was working there that day, and he hadn't surfed in forever, and I'm like, dude, go surf. And I remember he went and surfed, and I sold so many wetsuits and so many boards, and I came back and I had this stack, and he's like, bro, he's like, waves were so good. I'm like, wow, I kind of don't feel like I'm missing anything because I just made a shit ton of money. So
Hey, it's good.
Hey, another thing too about like the holidays, you were there for so long, right? And you watch these kids grow up and their parents come in, and how during the holidays they would fucking bring cookies and
oh yeah,
brownies.
Christmas
and-
Eve we'd be open till 4:00 or 3:00, and one guy would always bring a thing of Mayport shrimp with a cocktail sauce in the middle. Another guy would bring a 12-pack of Heineken. So like now that I'm out of the shop, like I try to go every Christmas Eve and bring beer to the guys.
Yeah, we had a deal with a pizza joint.
Yeah.
And we would buy a T-shirt. Then it was like $12.95 maybe a T-shirt. We pay our half for. We're like, hey, T-shirt and a tip for a pizza, and then they would be stoked,
Yeah.
So HSS, T-shirt, we pay for it, and then we got hooked up, and that would be like kind of an ongoing thing.
Just getting hooked up in the community. That's funny you say that. It's because every time I go out anywhere with my wife, like when we first started dating, and like even now, it's like they're like, "Hey, Dane, J-John, what's up, man? Good to see you."
Yeah.
And I'm like, "What's up? How are you?" And she's like, "How do you know that guy?" I'm like, "The surf shop." And like, "How do you know that family?" The surf shop. Like so many people come in there and they know you because you're always there. So it's like then you know them.
Yeah.
But I'm terrible with names, so I'll be like, "Hey, guy,
I used to be
what
so
up?"
He's so good at
I
names.
used to be better, but I used to be so good with names, and people would trip. You know, like
"How do you remember my name?"
yeah.
Yeah.
And it's crazy, with my kids and my wife, we'll go somewhere and they're like, "Hey, what's up? Used to be an HSS." And I'm like, "Yeah, blah, blah, blah," like, everybody, Dad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, when you're in a community, focal point, like, that's, you do meet a lot of people, but you're really good at like knowing names.
Yeah.
Thank you. What was your first surf trip?
Costa Rica. Sorry.
Wow.
Yeah.
What age and with who?
Actually, my first sponsor was Von Dutch.
Yes! Awesome.
Sorry.
Shut up.
Yeah, Von Dutch.
And how was
They came to a surf contest, the Wave Masters, and they had a tent set up or whatever. And I made the final and got like second or something. And the guy was like, "Hey, we really want to sponsor you. Here's some shirts with the flying eyeball." I'm like, sick.
Now, was Von Dutch popular in Florida?
Kinda, I guess.
It was huge everywhere.
The guy
I know, but not in surf.
The guy gave me a grip of like the eyeball and the wing stickers and like a bunch of T-shirts, and I was like a 10-year-old kid, like, yeah.
Can I get the foiled shirt? And
Because it was gigantic.
It's huge.
I mean, there's a documentary on it. I haven't seen it yet, but that's when like Pamela Anderson,
Yeah.
and Tommy Lee, like that's when
Yeah.
they were rocking Von Dutch.
Yeah.
I remember these.
But that's funny that.
That was a long time ago, right?
Well, not just a long time ago, but they were in Florida
Yeah.
for a fucking surf event.
And I say sponsor, they literally gave me like 4 T-shirts and some stickers. But at 10 years old, you're like, yeah! Actually, the nose cone and sun cure was created in Jacksonville. It was like a college project from this guy, Dale. It's obviously all over the world and here and stuff, but that was also my first sponsor was nose cone and sun cure.
What did nose cone make?
Nose cone made
Is that
nose
the
cones.
diamond?
Like the diamond tips.
Diamond tips.
Yeah.
No way.
The little rubber to keep you from.
Yeah.
That came from Florida?
Yep. Jacksonville.
Fuck, I always thought that was like Hawaii.
No. Well, there is one called Nose Guard.
Nose guard, okay.
Yeah, nose guard kind of wrapped down, and
Right.
then the diamond tip I think was the.
Okay.
Yeah.
And sun care was like dinger
Sun
pear
Care,
kits?
Dinger Pear.
Yeah, I remember sun care.
Just a lot, all that.
So Costa Rica was the first.
First surf trip.
Jaco?
No,
Hermosa?
Nosara.
Where?
Nosara.
Where's that?
I don't know. Like central Costa Rica.
Central.
It's down the peninsula somewhere.
Towards Pavona, like down.
Yeah, like near Malpais, north of Malpais. Like
Who'd you go with?
My dad and his good buddy, Wild Bill, Uncle Bill.
Nice.
I remember catching the biggest waves ever and just going forever, and my dad filming with big old camera and be like, "Whoa, that was crazy." Yeah, but I look at it now like, God, kids are getting so coached up, and they got their dad films every single day. Like I was lucky if my dad filmed one time. You know?
Yeah.
Sorry. One of those
Don't look at
dads.
Larson.
One of those dads. No.
He's not a helicopter dad, but
Hey, that's awesome. If my
Yeah.
kids choose that they want to surf, I'm going to support them. But I don't know. I might just be out there surfing with them.
yeah.
Yeah.
Pay Asher Nolan, who knows what he's talking about, to coach him.
I'm only on the beach because I got a back jack herniated disc. That's not.
Oh.
Yeah. So when I'm not surfing, I'm on the beach.
Nice. How old's your kid?
The middle son that's surfs 16. He's like
Nice.
full fired up, and then I have a 9-year-old boy that's just trying to get into it. Like he has been last year, but
Yeah.
I'm not pushing it because he's so young, and
Yeah.
just kind of like let him find his own groove.
I got a 5-year-old and a 3-year-old.
Yeah.
I've been funny that when they're 4-year-old actually, when they were 3 and 2, I would take them out on the board and surf with them, and like some big waves, like really big, and like take them down the line and surf with them, and then right when they figured out what they were doing, they're like, I don't want to do this.
Yeah.
Then my daughter, I pushed her on a wave by herself, and she went under, and she came up, and she went on the beach, and she sat there, and she's like, I'm taking a summer break. I'm like, well, it's fall, and then like I'll be surfing in the winter. She's like, I'm taking a summer break. I'm like, it's the middle of the winter. Like she just stuck on the summer break thing. I'm like, all right. But last year she was into it.
Yeah, which is hard because in our eyes they're little teeny waves, in their eyes it's monster.
Yeah.
Like because it is intimidating.
I remember the day that I blew it.
The day that I blew it, yes, I remember that day too.
I mean, my daughter, she's 21 now, but she never really got the surf bug. She is a lifeguard for the city
a
of
stud.
Newport. She's a super stud, like water. But
Plays water polo at college.
but
LMU.
but my middle son, I think it was after like the first year of junior guards that his confidence was like, okay, it's overhead. Like there's just a time, and I don't know if it was junior guards or if it was just that.
It's all in the
Maybe-
prep. Just being in the ocean in the knee deep water and playing with them and teaching them to go under and doing that.
But not
like,
forcing it.
Yeah,
you know?
not forcing like, hey, let's go under this one. You want to go under? You want to go over? Like play under over like for hours and hours and float around and like just have them feel the energy of the ocean.
Yeah.
That's the key. Is just exposing them and letting them go at their own pace.
Yeah.
So the day I blew it, I freaking pushed. I was pushing him in the shore break, and the first daughter, I have 2 daughters, Eve and Emery, pushed Evie into one. She falls. She scorpions.
Oh god.
Cries, gets out. All right, Emmy, you want to do it? Yeah. Pushed her into one. Scorpions.
Oh god.
Both of them that day.
Double.
Yeah, it was pretty much over. But Evie later on, she kind of got into it, and then she fell out of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Funny.
it's a lot of commitment. Like you guys at least have temperate, warm water, you know, like
Yeah.
pretty much all year. Here, you got to be a little gun ho
Yeah.
to put on a wetsuit, get down
Do your
there,
thing, yeah.
and do your thing. And
Yeah.
Yeah,
But-
life is crazy. It's just like thinking back on all this stuff. I just remember my like first wave, you know, like going. I got a boogie board with fins in it, and
Mach 10, 7.7.
I went, yeah, something like that. I went to Aqua. It was a Maury, I think. I went to Aqua East and bought one. And I remember standing up and going down the line and being like, "Wow!" And then my dad was like, "I got you a board from a garage sale, water weapon." So that was it. And yeah, the surf shops were cool, man. Like, you know, you see all these kids that grow up in them and stuff. And fast forward, Daniel Terry got a job. He was the Volcom marketing guy for the East Coast forever. And then Daniel got a job nationally.
We got to give props to fucking one of the best marketing guys and pioneers is fucking Keckley.
Oh yeah.
Like
Florida, yeah.
Yeah.
Quicksilver, yeah.
He's the one that started like the King of the Groms, right?
King of the Peak. He did.
King of the Peak.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That contest was insane.
Yeah, he was all about, I mean, shaper, ex-pro surfer, ripped,
Yeah.
and it was all about the use for him, like, you know, curating and cultivating the next young group. And he had Quicksilver as his support system, which was the dominant force in the industry. So he had a good setup.
He was always so cool too, like coming in the shop. I don't think attraction came.
Did you ever ask him why he wears his leash on the front foot?
No, I didn't. But that is a good question.
I think he broke his.
He did. I think it was like we interviewed him. I think he said he broke his ankle or whatever, and then when he got back into it, he just put it on the other, and it just felt natural. And
Hey,
whatever
floats your board.
So you went to school thinking you're going to be a teacher.
Yeah, so elementary school teacher. I look back and I'm like, fuck, I wasted like 4 years and like a lot of my time putting all this energy into it. I went to school and be a teacher, taught school for 6 months. I taught this at this school called Woodland Acres, which like was in the ghetto of Jacksonville, right next to Kona Skate Park. And I had one day where this kid threw a book at my head and he goes, "Why don't you go surfing or something?" And I'm like, that's it. I'm like, I'm done. And like, it was just, all the female teachers were like gossiping, and like I wasn't the best at like being organized and like getting my lesson plans done. And I'm like, yeah, that's not for me. You know, so
Isn't that crazy? So
got a degree from college,
Yeah.
University of North Florida, and then
how many years
went
did
right
it take
back.
you to?
5 years. Went right back to the surf shop at 22 years old. I was like,
What were your parents thinking? Say probably.
oh, they were supportive of me for everything, like
That's
every
cool.
step of the way. Yeah, I lived with them until I was 23 or 25. 25. Lived at home because they had a house up in the North Georgia mountains, so they would leave for all the summer, and I would basically have the house to myself.
That's killer.
So yeah.
But isn't it kind of crazy that, you know, you all your life you're kind of, you know, think your plan is this career, and then you get to that point and it's the worst thing that you could,
Yeah,
you
I'm
know.
like, no way.
Well, your parents were both teachers, so you're like,
you
oh,
think
it's
that's
a,
cool. Summer's off.
Summer's off, reputable job.
Great,
Parents,
yeah.
we have a
and
good
you get a
upbringing.
raise every year, like you build yourself up to where the end you're making.
And then you
good
got these
money.
little shit kids just like beating the hell out of you, and you're
Yeah.
like, I don't know if I could do that.
23 is young, but it's almost like, oh shit, what do I do now, right?
Yeah, I would be at almost 20 years. I'm 38, so I'll be at like 18 years of teaching, and I'd have another 10 years to go. Like I'd be, who knows? But I did love the opportunity to like these kids and their stories of like what their home life is, like just to give them that male influence when they didn't have a dad or whatever. Like that meant a lot to me. So.
But you lasted 6 months.
6 months, yeah.
And when did you quit?
It was
Sunrise?
it was like it was an internship. So like I had to do an internship to graduate, and I like taught for 6 months as part of the internship. Didn't get paid, and was just over it. I went back to Sunrise.
How long was your hiatus from?
I worked there the whole time I was in
Okay.
college. I worked Saturdays and Sundays, so like would go to school all week and then work Saturdays and Sundays. I never really left the shop until Daniel Terry got hired by Volcom to be the North America marketing director for Volcom. So he was moving to California, and he's like, I want somebody to jump into my role from the East Coast. You know, we have the van here, we have all the assets here, we do East Coast tours every summer, and we have a surf team. You know, I want you to
He's
manage
from Jacksonville.
Yeah, I want you to manage everything. I'm like, all right, and they hired me. Pretty, you know, just I was 26, so 27, I think. Got hired, worked for Volcom for 8 years, running events and marketing, and then went to Hawaii in 2014 for the Volcom Pipe Pro. And I was like the promo guy. Like I got a minivan and I would just get the box of promo and all the water bottles and like hook up all the staff and like build everything. And then I was like, dude, I need to get more organized. So I would like build bags pre-hand and write stuff down and do all this stuff.
You learn as you go. And
pretty crazy story.
Yeah.
I all the stuff got shipped to Kyborg's house. So
It's gonna be good.
This is pretty.
Huh,
So-
this is my stuff.
so I go to Kyborg's house. He sees me working every day. He's like, dude, you're working your ass off getting this stuff organized. Like a shit ton of boxes, like this whole room of boxes. It was everything for the school that they would sell at the beach park to make, you know, money and donate back to the school, plus all the promo gear, plus the tents, plus the tops, everything. Basically the whole contest would ship there. I would organize it all, get it all set up and do runs and drop it all off, right? So he was like, hey, here's the code to my gate, you know, whenever, like, you know, grab lunch with them. And one day he's like, hey, waves are firing up pipe. Go down there. Let's go surf. So I ride with him down there. We get to the house. I get my board and waxing up. And it's like playful pipe, like as big as the screen up there. And I'm like, all right, like kind of nervous, but I'm like, whatever. He told me to go out. He goes, go out there and get whatever wave you want. I'm like, fuck yeah. So I paddle out. I get a backdoor wave. I'm like all amped up. I do the loop around, paddle back out. And this guy's like, I'll go right. And I'm split this left with him. Best wave I've ever got a pipe. Drop in. Like kind of butt drag, a couple of little sprays in the eye, and I'm like going through this section, and I see this figure go over my head, and I'm like, whoa, what the fuck? And I come out, and I surf the wave to the beach. Florida man, like kept going when it was over.
Milking this thing.
yeah,
Milking it.
but you got barreled.
Yeah, and I turn around, and fucking the board was tombstoning. The guy comes up, and it was fucking Kyborg. And he fucking paddles straight to me in the channel and grabs me by the neck and puts me like in a fucking squeeze in the channel. And we're sitting there and waves are starting to break and we're like getting sucked over into the beach park like gums and like I'm like, sorry dude, I'm sorry, I didn't see you. He's like, what the fuck are you doing? You fucker, I'll fucking kill you. And they're just holding me. And like,
Did he forget who you were?
no, he knew who I was. And I'm like, fuck, I'm so sorry, I remember saying, my heart is in my throat. My heart is in my throat, bro, I'm sorry. And he like fucking slammed me down and he went in. And I'm like, fuck. And
You went to the beach with him.
No, I did not go to the beach with him. I paddled straight back out. I was like, I'm staying out till
No.
dark.
You drove to the beach with him
yeah,
to surf pipe.
yeah,
He's the one that told you to surf pipe
yeah.
and get any wave you wanted.
Yeah.
And you took off on a left. He went over the falls.
Yeah.
Or airdropped on over you.
And I was like, I was so shook. I was like, oh my God. So I stayed out and I'm like, well, I'm going to stay out till dark because I'm going to get fired from Volcom. I'm going to never be allowed back in Hawaii.
I'm going to get my ass kicked.
And I'm going to get fucking licked by Kyborg. So I go in, it's like dusk, and I'm sitting in the old house in the shower, like on the side, like kind of like, and everybody's on the porch like, oh, you fucked up, dude. I'm like, whoa. And come around the corner, open the gate, first person that sees Kyborg. And he walks up to me, and I'm like, oh. And he puts his hand out, and he goes, anybody else, I would have fucking killed him. You're lucky. And I shook his hand.
Squashed it.
And then the next day, he's sleeping on the couch in the Jerry house. And I'm like, okay, I'm going to get the house all clean because the contest is going to run tomorrow. So I pick up this giant Gatorade cooler, and I fucking trip, and I spill the entire Gatorade cooler of water, and it splashes up on the couch.
Wakes him up.
It wakes him up, and he said something, he goes, fuck, you are a dumbass, huh? Clean this shit up. I had to get the couch out of there, I had to mop it all up. It was fucking, yeah. So I went from there, like promo guy, to like every year getting another like notch on my belt, like running to the last 3 years, I basically directed the event with Brad Doherty and Red Bull Media House.
Okay.
That's so epic.
This is so funny because, like, no one really knows or can. You have to really explain how delicate those situations are,
Yeah.
right? Because these dudes, the Hawaiians, they don't fucking take shit.
Yeah.
Right?
And you're just a Holly scrawny kid that fucked up. Or if I would have saw him paddling for the wave, I would have straightened out. It was for sure 100% an accident, and it was 100%, and he was 100% in the right to grab me and tell me what the fuck are you doing, like just to remind me, you know. So,
But is he?
yeah, I mean, I think so.
No, he's not. He's just a moke.
Yeah.
That, I mean, he's in the right in the Hawaiian sense of things, but in the real world, like if you were in a court of law,
There ain't no court of law on there.
Come on, there's no court of law. The court
You
of
know
law
what I'm
is
saying.
there
It's
the
called
judge,
respect.
the executioner, and the fucking the ham.
And,
called-
you know, as you were talking about working for Volcom, it's so gnarly how what a well-oiled marketing blitzkrieg they are. You know, like from Wooly to Troy
Yeah.
to Doherty,
Yeah.
like to Daniel Terry to you, like every fucking level was like, whoa, these guys are the best of the best. Billy Hume,
Yeah.
Right?
Richie Alvarez. Yeah.
yeah, it's like so like you guys
Chris Lyman.
fucking had it dialed, and
Yeah.
it like
It was an army.
It was
They
an army, and like every event was like top notch.
Yeah.
Like
Carl from the ran the VQSs, RJ, freaking. I mean, those VQSs when they had the wrestling tournament and the freaking golf and the NASCAR, it was just like.
And they fucking partied.
yeah,
Like
I love it.
They partied and they were there at fucking the
I'm surprised.
crack of dawn, ready to run an event. Like
Yeah.
Yeah,
You learn real
Professional.
quick. You got a job. You got to get it done. You
Yeah.
know? Like. So yeah, it was
can I tell you-
super fun.
a quick story about Billy Hume.
Huh. I love Billy.
So, me too. So, I've known Troy Eckert forever, right? Since he was like a little grom. And you probably might have heard that he was a child actor. Did you know that? He was on Webster. You remember that show, Webster?
No.
It was like this black kid, and he was adopted by a white family. And it was a long running.
it was big.
Yeah, it was a big show. It's
80s
called
show.
Webster.
Yeah.
But Troy had fucking reoccurring roles in that thing.
He was,
wow.
he was
That
like
crazy?
this
So,
surfer
anyways,
skater friend.
he's a Volcom. He's the marketing whatever VP or whatever, and I can't remember Robbie Ryan. Remember Robbie Ryan or Langhorne maybe said, "Hey, we wanted an East Coast guy, right?"
Yeah.
And before we hired John Gilliland, remember him?
Yeah.
We talked with Billy.
Yeah.
And we fucking flew him over here, right? And I met with him because it was my job to
Yeah.
hire the marketing manager. I was a sales manager then.
Yeah.
And I met Billy, and I'm like, dude, like, fucking, we can do this, we can do that. And we're like, we want him, right?
Yeah.
And Tim Gavin, I don't know if you ever met Tim Gavin. He was like the VP of marketing at he's one of the owners. And we all hit it off, and fucking Billy was like, yeah, I think I want to work with you guys, And then he goes back, and then I don't know what happened next, but I get a call from Troy Eckert, and he called me, and he's like, bro, he's like, you're out of line, like, he goes, you can't take away one of my guys. And I'm like, what the fuck? Like, I'm sorry, because it was like, his family, like, don't fucking try to poach our guys.
Yeah.
And I learned a lesson that day. I was
Yeah.
like, oh shit, like,
Yeah.
I forget that, that's kind of.
Billy was the gnarliest dude. I stayed with him for every trip, every trade show, everything. Like, we were all in the same hotel room. I don't think he ever slept in the hotel bed. Never came
Out
home.
and about,
Yeah.
just show up in the morning.
Yeah, and he would be there, and he'd do the whole thing the next day. And
Yeah.
it was so yeah.
Professionals.
Yeah, so Volcom was awesome. To be able to run the Volcom Pipe Pro, like, as a kid from Florida, and like be staying at Jerry's house and like run the whole thing, it just was surreal and like unreal. So 2019, we run the event in 3 days. The first 3 days of the waiting period, January 29th to February 10th, it was good as pipe gets. Ran the whole contest in 3 days. Saved a shit ton of budget because we didn't have to pay for catering for lay days or make the call or put the satellite up. We didn't have to pay for lodging for extra people, all that jazz. So saved a ton of budget. I go home, I go on vacation with my family, and then we get back in March of 2020 and pandemic hits. And then I get through the first round of layoffs, and then they're like, oh, you're getting furloughed, so you're not going to get paid, but we have an event this weekend down at Ron John. So we go down there, and we're driving to the event at the Beach and Board Fest, and we get a call from our bosses, and they're like, hey, turn around, don't do the event. We're like, okay. Drive back, and I never forget, it was the weirdest time. Like, the beach was closed in Jacksonville, but this other beach was open, and the waves were good there, so I would drive to that beach every day in St. Augustine, this wave called Volcom. And I was driving on Volcom, and Brad Doherty calls me, and he's like, dang. And I'm like, Brad, just tell me. It's all good. And he's like, man, we're going to have to lay you off, da-da-da. I'm like, all good, man. I'm so thankful for the opportunity. And he's
you were there for 8 years?
Yeah. And he's like, that's really refreshing, dude. I've had to lay off a lot of people, and like, you're super positive about it. Like, what's the deal? I'm like, dude, we're all going through this thing together. I'm just thankful for the opportunity. And it was actually the best thing that ever happened to me, because that afternoon I went home and called Kevmo and was like, hey, I saw you started board riders clubs up there. I want to do it. What does it take? He's
that
like,
day?
That day. And he goes,
wow.
Actually, I went to my friend's house, Ross, who was the marketing manager for snow and surf at Vans, Ross Howlett. And I was like, man, what do I do? He's like, dude, start your own shit. So I started Willow Tree Productions, which is a production company, and I have my own PA, I bought my own PA system, have all my own event stuff. Basically do like kind of what Brillo does, I run the WRV Outer Banks Pro for the past 5 years, a bunch of other contests, yada yada. So I do that. I started that business that day, and then started the nonprofit, and it was $1,500 to start the nonprofit, and I paid a lawyer $500, and this was out of my savings, out of my little bit of severance that Volcom gave me. I put it down to start the board riders. And then the next day, my wife is like, hey, go get a pregnancy test. And she tells me she's pregnant. So I lost my insurance. It's the middle of the pandemic, and my wife's pregnant. And I have no job. And I'm like, all right. So I go to my buddy's construction company, and they're pretty successful. And I'm like, hey, I'll do anything. He's like, buddy, you're not made out for concrete construction. I'm like, I'll do anything. So I put a tool belt on, helped them build this tool crib, brought in I researched this system where we could check out tools, and did job costing, and did job costing and business development, did this thing where they were doing time cards on a piece of paper. I was like, dude, every guy has a phone. When he goes into the job site, he'll get clocked in. When he leaves the job site, he'll get clocked out. They're like, whoa, we saved thousands and thousands of dollars just on timesheets alone. So basically helped run this construction company for 3 years. And in the same time, they were super cool with me whenever I had an event. They're like, yeah, if you need the afternoon or Fridays off, go have Fridays off. So started Board Riders Club, and super thankful for CPR contracting. And I was like, dude, I was making no money at Volcom, but I was having the time of my life. Now I have, a little bit of revenue
job security
from here, a little bit of revenue from here, and job security.
What were you making, if you don't mind me asking?
Nothing. I think it was like 50 grand, something like that.
And did they help with expenses?
Where? From who?
Volcom.
Oh, Volcom? Oh, yeah. No, it was the dream job. Yeah. It was 50 grand, and like didn't really pay for clothes or travel or anything.
Yeah.
So
there's
perks, but
there's
it's
perks,
still,
but
you
yeah,
gotta
you
live.
can't support a family
yeah.
that great.
It's a young man's gig.
Yeah, young man's gig. Yeah. And then went to making a little more with the construction thing, and then fast forward to now, Brad Doherty called me last year and was like, hey, Liberade's bringing on Billabong, and we really need a marketing manager for North America. We're going to run global marketing. We need somebody to manage all the go-to-market assets, like content, photo shoots, all that jazz. And I'm like, sure, sign me up. So
2020 is when you got laid off.
2020.
And then
2024 is when I got rehired.
Oh,
So
wow.
4 years. Mm-hmm. I believe me, at the beginning of it, all my friends were getting rehired back by Volcom, and I was just sitting there and like, nobody's calling me, nobody's doing anything. Like, I guess I'm just gonna be this construction guy forever.
Was it weird being out of the industry?
It was.
You were still doing events, but
yeah, I was still doing events, but it was very eye opening. Like, I was so ingrained in Volcom and the stories behind all the products and how we were marketing it and how we were reaching the consumer. And then I took a step back, and I'm like, I'm not ingrained in it, and it doesn't really matter. It's board shorts with color patterns, and like I went to the surf shop, and I'm like
It's the same old.
same
Same
shit,
old.
same shit, different toilet.
Yeah.
Like like,
Yeah.
But refreshing in respect
refreshing to look out
that you had another opportunity where you never looked at that as a job
Yeah,
avenue.
yeah,
You like construction, like here you begging a buddy and you come in, and because of your background with what you've ran all these in logistics and events, that you were able to like help them navigate and save a bunch of money.
Yeah.
I mean, it made you feel valued, you know.
Yeah.
I'm sure you definitely
But they definitely made me feel like a dumbass. They'd be like, your shit's cattywampus, man, and fucking. I get out on a job site and they'd be like, put the fucking tool down. I remember.
yeah.
Dude,
They're like, you got typewriter hands and not these fucking claws.
I remember one of our jobs was I-10, which runs from Jacksonville all the way to San Diego. We were removing a expansion joint in a bridge, so we had to fucking run the jackhammer, chip, the concrete chisel for like all day, and like I try to jump on it, and the thing's and everybody's laughing at me, and I'm like, all right, I'll just sweep and shovel shit, you know, like I'm fucking dead. So
So you got your hands dirty.
I got my hands dirty a little.
Yeah.
I should have done more because concrete's pretty rad the way you can lay it down and like building structures, you know. But I helped them with their marketing, like this whole hashtag bringing structures to life, and like did a couple things on their Instagram and like got a LinkedIn page and got more work. So it was cool.
What a trip.
Yeah, it's been a long life. I feel
'Cause-
pretty freaking old, like, and I'm only 38, but it's been a lot of shit that's happened.
Construction it's a man's job.
And it's going crazy right now. Like, and especially in 2020, it was like jobs left and right, you know? It was crazy. Like a lot of money.
Yeah.
You know?
So Doherty calls you up, North American
Marketing director or marketing manager
For
Billabong. And yeah, I joined the team, and it was really weird because all my friends from Volcom and stuff were still there, but I was with this new group of people that came over from board riders and just went through this transition, and I'm this new guy that they brought in to lead the team to manage it. And I was like, I think my personality like kind of helped. Like I was like, everything was super light, and I was like kind of like I was just being me on these calls, and I think we ended up doing some cool stuff. We wrote a marketing campaign called Aki's Going Natural, and it was for our wetsuits. It was these upcycle wetsuits.
That was funny.
Are made out of all natural, and we the guy Chandler, who's our social media manager, he came up with the idea. He's like, hey, remember Snoop Dogg Up in Smoke? And I'm like, yeah. He's like, we should do it with Aki, but going natural. And I'm like, yeah. And like we wrote the script, and like I literally wrote out what Aki says on the phone. Like Aki's looking at the phone, reading it, and I was like, wow, that's like pretty freaking crazy. And did that. That was super cool. And I remember the first sales meeting at the Liberated office, like all the Billabong, like the reps, like Scott Bouchard was there. He's been the Billabong rep forever.
Butchie.
You know, Butchie, Ken Hunt, and like all these guys are there. And I'm this new guy, and I'm standing there, and I showed him a picture of the water weapon, the first board I had. And on the water weapon, glassed in it, was a big Billabong logo.
No way.
And I'm wearing a Billabong wetsuit, and I'm like 8 years old standing there. And I started,
Can I get that picture?
I'll get the picture. I started by running down the aisles, like giving everybody high fives. I'm like, hey, I am so psyched to be here. You know, I gave him a little background. And I said, if you would have told this 8-year-old kid right here that he would be standing in front of all you as a marketing manager for Billabong, he would have never believed you. I'm blessed and stoked to be here.
Wow.
And I went into my thing, and I took stand-up comedy classes, like just YouTube style, like watched a bunch of them for like my thing. So I was like kind of like hit it with the heartstrings and hit a couple jokes, and then, yeah, it was good.
That's epic.
That is
because it is
good preparation right there.
You know, you're in the front of a big group, and you've been at so many sales meetings over the years, and it's, you know, it gets a little mundane, a little, you know, repetitive, but you got to be creative, and
it becomes real when you're leading.
Well, for sure.
You know, when you have to go up there and present.
But you got to make a big impact.
Yeah.
Because like,
you got to hurrah.
Know, whoever is up there, up front, and when you have the title, you have to have
performed.
Like, you know.
I think my reggae days helped with that.
Dude, yeah. Before we forget, like, how'd you get? What do you play?
But I was like a novice at guitar forever, and then I started a band called Still Green in high school, and I wrote a bunch of songs.
Which is reggae.
Which is reggae. And this older band with all these dreadlock dudes, like real Rastas, were like, yo, you guys are pretty good. Would you want to come play with us? And I'm like, we'll play what? And they're like, keyboard. And I'm like, I don't know how to play keyboard. And they're like, it's pretty easy. Chenka, 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 like chord shape. So they taught it to me so I could bubble, and then do horn like ding, 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 like do the whole horn line.
Like repetitive rhythm that you...
Yeah, so I was in the back doing this.
Do you have dreads?
What was?
No, I was
what
the
was
only
that
one in the
band?
band that didn't have dreads. It was called Scholar's Word, and we did 5 years. We did 2 California tours. We played like Bolinas, Ukiah, like Monterey. We played Pier 23 in San Francisco.
Spoke a lot of weed.
Yes.
Did you have long hair at least?
No, I had a shaved head. Yeah.
Wow.
I was the only one that was in the band. Like I remember we'd live in this little van and we'd travel everywhere, and these guys were vegetarians and shit. I remember sleeping one night in the fucking dreadlock from the bunk above me. I was taking with me, and then we're in Big Sur, and I'm like, fuck this. I brought a tent on tour, so I'd always go do my tent. And like I would set my tent up at Big Sur. We just pulled off on the side and camping.
How beautiful is Big
Oh,
Sur?
amazing.
Fucking
and
beautiful.
I empty my tuna can out on the side of the mountain,
Oh,
and I make
shit.
a tuna fish sandwich. And I get in my tent, and I'm falling asleep in here. Fucking mountain lion outside the tent. 2 of them.
Whoa.
And all the guys are in the van, and I'm like, hey, and they're like, they wake up and they roll down the window. They're like, what? I'm like, open the door and turn the lights on and make some noise. There's a mountain lion. And they're like, holy shit. So mountain lion runs off.
How big was it?
Huge. And I fucking run and jump into the van, but I dragged my blanket with me. And the next day we drive all the way home on I-10. I wake up in the middle of Texas or Arizona or whatever, and I got this rash all over me. I dragged the freaking blanket through poison oak or poison ivy or something.
Oh my gosh.
So yeah, that was a crazy story. Dude, I got stories for days.
That is fucking
That is
epic.
fucking amazing.
Yeah. The biggest show was UB40 at the House of Blues in Orlando. And
Did you ever play at the Surf Expos?
No. It makes
Speaking of Surf Expo and Volcom, how big was ASG?
Oh god, I just saw him.
You know ASG?
I just saw him a couple months ago, and it was like they blew my ear. Like I was humming for 3 days, but it was the sickest show ever. Those guys are.
Those guys were They were good.
And like so, yeah, I was like into reggae and stuff. Like, and then I'm like, now me and Daniel started a band called Blown, and like we just want to play that style of music. It's like Dinosaur Jr. meets ASG meets freaking I don't know, Kurt Vile. I don't know. It's a weird project.
It's like a mix of all your
All the
favorites.
stuff. Yeah, exactly. But yeah, we did that for a while.
What was it? What was your band called? Steel Green?
Scholar's Word.
What was
the first
the-
band was called
Green.
Still Green.
Still Green.
Yeah. And then Scholar's Word, and the curtain comes up, the UB40, and I'm looking out at 1,000+ people, and it goes dun 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 dun, and I'm supposed to hit the first note, ba ba ba, and I almost missed it. I was like, and then I got in my rhythm. I'm like, okay. So yeah, it was. I made a lot of money doing that though. Like
Really?
It was glorified. Like yeah, we played with Steel Poles and we played with Humble Soul and all these big reggae acts. But we would do these like deck gigs, 3-hour deck gigs in like Croatan, like Outer Banks and like New York. We played Long Island and Fire Island. They would pay us like $1,800, and then we would get free food and free lodging. And like at the end of a tour, I'd come home with like $2,800 and didn't spend any money. And I'm like,
Epic.
That's kind of cool.
And it was probably funner than shit.
yeah, exactly.
You know?
Got to go to some cool places, meet some cool people.
I mean, where else are you gonna go? Like, hit all the venues or nightclubs along all those like killer cities. You know?
Yeah.
Yeah, you're
Or
at
no-name
a happening
cities.
spot in a happening place.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, like
Like
everyone wants
you're the
to
show.
fucking talk to you.
We played New York City, played Sullivan's Hall. And there's these 2 bands that played before us, and the place is packed. And I'm like, fuck, we're about to play New York City with a packed house. And we're the last band. We went on at like 11. The curtain goes down. We get all our shit ready. Curtain goes up. 2 people. They all fucking left.
What?
In New York?
And my buddy, this New York guy's like, tumbling tumbleweeds, yo. I'm like, fuck. I'm like,
Because usually, like, the brands
People
ramp
stay,
up.
yeah. People
but
stay for
we
the-
didn't know, but this was like a pregame bar, you know.
Oh, you guys, yeah, everybody's leaving to the next
That's funny.
venue.
And we
You're
got
like, look at this place. It's gonna be.
Yeah.
We're gonna fucking
nobody.
Wow.
So yeah, music, surfing, but yeah, the Board Riders Club, man. I can't say enough about what Kevmo, sent me and what we put together those first couple years. And it was me calling all these people, calling Gabe Kling, calling Mason Sapp, calling Lanso, calling all these people, and be like, hey, we need to start a Board Riders Club. This is how you do it. Spent so much time and effort on the phone. Like, hey, this is how you do it. This is what we should do. Like, there's a community. Get a club logo. Get an Instagram. We'll start this series of events. And like, it didn't really pick up until we had our first event. And it was called Oldest versus Boldest. It was Jacksonville versus St. Augustine.
Say it again.
Jacksonville versus St. Augustine.
What was the event called?
Oldest versus boldest, because they call Jacksonville the boldest city in the South, and St. Augustine's the oldest city in the nation. So we had this like cool contest, and
Oldest versus the.
we did we had a video recap, we had all this stuff, and all the other people in Florida saw it, and they're like, we're starting a club. Then the next year we had three events and a actually the first year will go down in history as Jacksonville claims they won the Florida Cup, but Space Coast claims. So we had an event in St. Augustine, Space Coast won by like 2 points. We had an event in Space Coast and they won by like 15 points. And then we had what I considered the championship at the Poles in Jacksonville. And it was onshore and like 8-foot nor'easter. And we won. So I'm like, we're the champion because I was the championship. And he's like, no, it was the total season wins. So year one will always go down in Florida Board Rider history as a asterisk next to Space Coast and Jacksonville.
So when
that's what makes these events so epic, because there's so much
Bragging
rivalry
rights.
and bragging rights and everything.
Yeah, I mean,
hometown.
Yeah. Oh, you're only as good as your last one.
We've had Lisa Anderson surfing at Shea and Corey Lopez, CJ Hobgood, like I said, Lisa Anderson, Frida Zambo, like Robbie McCormick, Rasta Rob, like Ryan Huckabee, these guys, like, and the cool thing for me is like I grew up going to these towns and surfing, but now I get to go with like my crew, like the referee travels with me and my setup guy, and we go on Friday to the place, we surf, we get the in from the local club, like, hey, go to this restaurant, ask for Jerry, like, it's like it's so connected,
Yeah.
And
surfing was so unconnected for so long. It was like, oh, this kid's gonna be this kid's gonna be this.
it's all about individual, which is the sport, and it's always been. But there's layers, and there's other cool things, and we talk about the air shows when they used to have their own tour and how killer that was for the sport, and the big wave tours, the longboard, all these things, and Board Riders kind of encompasses like all of that as well.
Yeah.
But to the team rivalry level.
Yeah.
City, state, logo.
Connects the generations in every community.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it's unreal. I mean, we just got back from Australia. We went to the World Club Challenge and literally had the best trip ever. Like, went to Byron Bay and surfed for a couple days. And
Have you been to Australia before?
the last time I went was 20 years ago when I graduated high school. I was actually one of my mentors at the shop, the Tony guy. I was like, hey, I graduated high school. I can go to
Where should I go?
I go to Costa Rica for 3 months, or I got this chance to go to Australia and hang out with my buddy who just graduated college and is living there. He's like, go to Australia.
Yeah.
I'm like, all right. So I went for like a month, and then this last trip I hadn't been back in 20 years. And basically, there's a million stories from Australia, but I got to travel with Karina, who's one of my best friends, her husband, Tristan and Evan Thompson. We had a contest to qualify who would get the all expenses paid trip, and Evan and Tristan won it. Me and Karina are the president, and I'm like, I am going over there to surf in it just to use it as a learning experience, to see how clubs function across the world, and taking that back and going to spread it across our clubs.
Yeah.
So it was a really cool trip. But I mean, we went to Dave Rostovich's farm because his wife went to high school with us. He was really good friends with Karina.
Lauren Hill?
Yeah, Lauren Hill. And we told him we always rock the cowbells, and he's like, oh, come jam room, I got this cowbell from a famous Australian drummer, and he gave me a cowbell and a drumstick, and I'm like, dude, I got Rostovich's fucking cowbell.
He gave it to you?
Yeah.
To just fucking hammer at the event.
Yeah. So we go ding 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 ding.
Now, why are you guys doing cowbells?
Cowbells because the original name of Jacksonville was Calford, but some guy brought it down to an event and it was like stuck. And then the next event I went on Amazon and ordered like 50 and gave them all the groms, and it was so loud. We're like, this is our thing.
This guy's just the marketing
It's so annoying, by the way.
It's annoying, but it's effective.
It's funny though.
It's so awesome. So, when you first started Board Riders, did you do Jacksonville first, or did
Jacksonville was the first club. I met with all these guys, and I'm like, hey, I laid out the business plan. Check it out. Jay Dotson, you're going to be the sponsors and events negotiator. Asher, you're going to be the president. Jason, you're going to be the coach. Evan, you're going to be and they're all like, yeah, we got shit going on. We're not going to do that. So basically, it was me. And it's basically still me. I run our Instagram. I run I have help from other people, but run our Instagram, run the website, run the booking, run the accounting, run the permitting, basically the whole tour I still manage, and I'm like, I love doing it. It doesn't feel like work, you know? To me,
because you see the growth, you see the opportunity,
and we get a lot of grants from the state of Florida, and we get a bunch of stuff, grants, and then sponsorship, New Belgium Fat Tire sponsors us, Red Bull sponsors us, Bluebird Hardwater out of Jacksonville sponsors us, Sunburn Cannabis. All these brands bring money to the table and allow us to do what we do. And in turn, as the executive director, I don't pay myself a lot, but I pay myself $1,000 a month to manage it all, which is if we broke it down hourly, it's probably $10 an hour.
Yeah.
Because I just answering emails about it now, you know.
If you're a one-man show, that's would be expected. It's I'm not retired. I don't have this other income. This is full-time job.
Yeah, exactly.
How many?
So that was really good when I got laid off though. I was like, oh, I can get sponsorships and be able to have my wife have this kid without insurance, you know. So
how? So you started Jacksonville.
Jacksonville. St. Augustine was the second one. Then Space Coast, Mason Sapp, who's a great marketer himself, super smart guy, worked for Globe for a long time. He started the Space Coast Club. And then New Smyrna with Missy Schweitzer. Flagler is the sickest surf town. It's a town stuck in the 70s. It's one spot. It's the pier. It's where Robbie McCormick, Rasta Rap's from, Ryan Huckabee, Frida Zamba, all these. And they just surf this one spot, and they're always there on the boardwalk, and they're tight. Then we got Treasure Coast. This guy Brando started it, and they were super tight. They do club meetings and club training and priority training and judging classes, and they really encompass what Board Riders is about. They're killing it. They're the Pirates. And then we got South Florida with DJ Lanso, Culture Shock. He runs the South Florida crew. Then we have this little club called Ponte Vedra, and then a club called Fernandina Board Riders. So yeah, it's been a whirlwind.
13 or so.
11.
11.
Yeah.
Which, I mean,
that's pretty amazing, right?
It's freaking radical.
Yeah.
How quick.
5 years.
5 years. I mean, it seems like a really long time, but the amount of work that goes into setting it up and
2021, 22, 23, 24, and this is 25. We've run 6 events a year, or 7 events a year. So that's 7, 14, 21, 28. That's a lot of events.
Yeah. So who
is your company?
Willow Tree. Yeah. So I manage the whole thing, but what I've learned is you pay your staff really well, so they're psyched to be there. We pay the judges really well. We feed everybody at these events. We operate kind of at a loss. We don't charge the clubs what West Coast Board Riders charge. It's only $500 an event, which if you break it down, it's if you do $50 membership, it's 10 people paying their membership, you know. So it's we don't really charge that much to the clubs. We try to bring in more sponsorship dollars and then try to get local sponsors. So we buy the food for everybody. We have an after party that we feed everybody, you know. We pay for all the permits, all that jazz. So
yeah.
So you have a Florida umbrella.
So the affiliation is all the clubs affiliate with the Florida Board Riders, which is the association that runs the events.
Yeah.
That affiliates with U.S. Board Riders.
Are you running the Florida?
Yeah.
And then you're also helping out.
I'm the executive
Jacksonville.
director, and then I just nominated and gave it the presidency over to Karina Petroni because she's been super into it, and then she's had a lot of stuff go on. Her mom just passed away, and she's had a lot going on. So like I've kind of taken over the president role again, but hopefully she'll be back and jump into that seat. But there's so much you can do with it. Like we get all this local sponsorship dollars from local restaurants and stuff at the Jacksonville level, and I really want to just like give it to the kids for like coaching and like coaching and like taking the kids on trips, take them to New Smyrna, like do a once a month trip for the board riders down to New Smyrna in the summer when there's no waves anywhere, so possibilities are endless. And
me and Lyndon are on the Huntington Board Riders board, and we had a meeting last night about our calendar for the next few months for the rest of the season pretty much, and it's rad. Like we got a great board and the camaraderie, but just
I'm gonna get
everybody's
really competitive here.
Yeah.
Like Jacksonville almost would have beat you guys at nationals. One of our girls didn't catch a wave in the heat, and it was so heartbreaking.
Yeah.
We needed 2 points to catch you guys.
Okay, well, we had a few injuries, a couple people pull out, and you want to go down the list?
Yeah.
No,
And then here's the other thing. Karina gets the wave of her life lately at lowers and rips the bag out of it, and it's before the heat.
Oh, that's right.
And we're like, no, and she's ripping the wave. When we're bringing the cowboy, we're like, no, the heat out, and so we're yelling, freaking out, and she's ripping the wave, and then she finishes it, and she looks back in the beach. She's like, yeah, flames it.
It's so.
And we're just like, what? Dude, like what?
We were on the beach.
Yeah.
We were there, and we had our 15 to 19-year-old he get an interference on the first minute of the heat.
Yeah.
And we were just like, you got to be kidding me.
Well,
And we had the highest scoring heat with our 15 and under.
Yeah.
Or 14 and under.
Yeah. But it's a marathon. Every division counts. Every ride counts.
Best story. The 50-year-old, this guy Eric Hunter, has been best friends with Jason Modes forever. He surfed back in the day, but never really did big contests. But he's a local firefighter, and he came out here and surfed lowers, and he got a 9.5 or something in his heat. He smoked Dino and Dino. He smoked Archie. He beat them all. Smoked them, and he's walking down the path, and PK like gets up to him and interviews him. He's like, "How do you feel?" Like, "Man, that's the best wave of my life." It's going on. We're all like hugging him and screaming and yelling. We're like, "Holy shit, that was crazy!"
We had Barry Deffenbaugh, Jeff's the tour surfer. Barry did well. He's a national champion when he was in SSA national champion. Anyways, up to the event, like week before, he's like, "It's fucking lowers. I'm gonna go out. I'm gonna bust a huge air or whatever. I'm gonna bust an air." And we're like, "No, just get a score. Like like don't try to show off or whatever." And right before the heat, he wears booties like religiously and whatever. It's warm out. He's like, "I'm gonna go do an air." And we're like, "Just go fucking rip a wave, please." And he caught a wave, he ripped it, and he pops an air at the end. We're like,
he did it.
He did it. Like
he got an 8.5. Right?
Yeah, he mentally like
manifested,
and it was just like, you motherfucker. It was so epic. Like
the board riders, it's like we're all cheering for all these guys, but like in individual surfing, like maybe that's why I didn't really get into it, because like I'm so competitive, and like who's cheering for me? My mom.
No,
like,
but
who's psyched that I made the heat?
But
your friends on the team.
Well, there's no team. It was just individual.
But when we're at those events, of course you want to win. That's the whole point. But it sucks when you see other people falter. Although it does help you. You want like everybody. Like when somebody scores a killer wave, you're like, fuck. But you can't not help cheer even for those rivalry teams.
Well, it's pressure with those three waves. Like I remember at Karama's at that surf shop challenge, Evan Thompson falls on his first two waves, and his second wave when he falls in the final, this guy Knox Harris from Mid-Atlantic, I still remember he goes, yeah, all right, yeah, and starts getting off, and I turned around and I go, I will knock your fucking teeth out, shut the fuck up. I'm like, that's super gnarly. I don't know what came out of me. And then the next wave, he drops in, gets barreled, does a huge grab rail cut, he gets a 9 double whammy, and I looked at him and go, ah!
All those moments are so epic.
I remember Ronnie Blakely after that. I'm running down the beach and I'm like fucking throwing my arm up all psyched, and they're like, we've never seen this before. Here goes Dane Jefferys. He's running out and he's claiming it on his way out. This is too good. So
those events are
That
they're
day
the
was
best.
pretty memorable.
Yeah.
Oh, it was so sick. And then they did the Founders Heat and I got to surf and I'm like, whoa, I didn't think I was going to surf. And then I was like,
Dude, it was pumping and killer.
yeah.
Like,
The jet shilling, was it the last heat of the day?
I don't know.
I got a 10.
I don't know. I
I
can't
think it was
remember.
Kate got a 10.
But I just remember how it was like a fireworks show, because all day was good, but the last heat of the day, it was bombing.
Yeah.
It was like the grand finale for waves coming through.
Boom, boom,
boom, boom, boom, boom, just like fucking set after set. And you're just like,
So
what
many
the fuck?
unridden waves, and everybody's freaking like, why didn't you go? And then you look, and the next one's like perfect. Next one's perfect.
Yeah.
That's when our girl, like, she just was in the wrong spot and couldn't get a wave. I was just like, oh no.
Yeah.
But, well, I appreciate you guys, man. It's been fun.
Yeah. Hey, we're wrapping it up there, I guess.
We've been all over the place.
No, this is
That's-
a great, and we probably have just scratched the surface. So we'll have you back on.
Yeah, there's
some
a
other
lot
time.
more in the tank, dude.
Yeah, because you're out here
I'm
for
out here built for Billabong. Yeah,
Yeah.
we just got a new office and stuff, so I've been moving all the stuff from Liberated over there, and just super thankful to have a job with an iconic brand like that. Like,
Yeah.
there's a lot of negativity in the industry, and the only thing I'll say is like, there's still surfers running marketing for Billabong. Like, I surf pretty much every day. Our team of designers surf all the time. The social media guys surf more
Yeah.
than anybody I know. It's like, there's still people at the brand that live and breathe. sport.
And we have so many friends across the industry and multitude of brands, and it's all competition, but at the end of the day, you want your friends
Yeah.
to have a good livelihood. We want to have a good livelihood. We want the shops and retailers, the brands. We want everybody uplifted, and it does get a little bummed out when you hear the negativity being thrown out at us, or certain brands, and it's like, dude, it's like there's enough to spread everybody around, and if we can uplift the industry, then everybody wins. You know?
Exactly. And yeah, like I said, I don't think that 12-year-old me would have ever thought I'd be sitting right here on freaking Late Night with Chalky.
You heard it here first. Hey, we appreciate your
you guys.
time.
Yeah, thank
Dane,
you.
Jeffries, keep up the good work, dude.
Dane's Brain on Instagram.
Dane's Brain on Instagram.
Congratulations on the Florida
yeah.
Board Riders Club and Jacksonville. And
Yeah, our championship is March 22nd. Brillo's coming out. He's going to direct the event. It's going to be at Sebastian Inlet.
Ooh.
Yeah.
how's getting a permit there? Is it tough like yours?
I know. No, dude, the permitting in Florida is
It's minor.
minor.
We're gonna have to ask you about getting those grants.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, you got to get a grant writer. We didn't have one. We actually got pretty lucky, but in the Florida they have this license plate that says Endless Summer, and it's run by out of Ron John's surf shop. And basically every license plate that gets sold by the Surfing's Evolution and Preservation Foundation, they take that money and invest in surf organizations that are doing good in their community. So
We love it.
Yeah.
yeah.
Thanks for sharing.
Thank you.
Visit
Congrats.
Huntington Beach, dude. You guys got to get on.
Woo!
So you're giving me a speaker too? Is this a
Peace.
sponsor?
Oh yeah.
Oh.
Before we
Bro,
leave, we gotta
Man.
thank our sponsors.
you're blowing it.
You're like all
Dude,
hyped up.
he was running out the door. I was like trying to, slow it down.
All right. First off, thank you Northside Cafe
Yep.
for letting us use their space.
Which is
Yeah, thank you.
our clubhouse for the board riders. Thank you, Finless
Oh, sick.
Skateboards. They got killer handmade boards.
I like that name, Finland.
You and I have been talking about getting
Oh, nice.
Jacksonville and some of the other board riders clubs where Loose Towels is sponsoring like 18 clubs in the country.
Let's do it.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And that was
wanna
the
get
first
you
crag
on
board. So that's
Awesome.
a poncho. Thank
Nice.
you, Scotia Industries. This is a speaker, has a bottle opener, magnet for your phone on top.
Whoa.
It's a magnet on top and the bottom, so you can put it on anything metal.
like
Oh, wow. So
But
Car,
if you're
but-
TikToking,
I have a
yeah.
golf cart at home.
There you go. So
Sick.
that's the
Thank you,
boom
guys.
bottle.
Waterproof, dustproof.
Late night with Chalky merch. Yeah, we
My
got
hat.
that.
Appreciate it.
Thanks to Earth Pack.
Earth Pack. Thank you. All your bags, packaging needs.
You're still here for a couple days, right?
Yeah.
You like Asagi bowls?
Bonsai.
Yeah.
We got some bonsai bowl cards for you.
Yeah, Joe and the boys.
Yeah. So he just
At
gives
the
so
Volcom
much
Pipe
back.
Pro, he would come all day and make
I gotta
bowls.
find the cards, but who else? Clearweather
Clearweather.
brand, Murph Electric Bicycles.
Yeah, Frankie.
Yep.
Frankie.
Fuwax.
Fuwax.
You say Clearweather?
You guys got a lot of sponsors, man. This is
Yeah.
awesome.
Yeah.
Ashland Shoots. Capacity
Capacity beers.
Brewing.
Yeah.
We like it all.
Nice. Well, thank you guys.
We need another round of beers because my natural lights are just not really cutting it. You know, no, they're tasty, but we like beers. I do.
Yeah,
Thank
me
you.
too. Later,
Okay.
guys.
You.
Peace,
thank you.
dude.